The day starts like so many fire service conferences. Pipes and drums, warm greetings from the mayor.
First, it's an honor to welcome each and every one of you who provide such great service in your home communities to Phoenix.
And the fire chief.
Welcome everybody to Phoenix, Arizona. It's such a pleasure to have everybody here with us today.
But even those tasked with welcoming to Phoenix more than 500 from the nation's fire service got right to the serious business at hand.
That as an elected official, it's my responsibility, and hopefully the responsibility of elected officials from whatever communities you are coming from, to also become aware of what a terrible problem cancer is among our brothers and sisters who are firefighters.
We are now operating in the offensive strategy against this lethal opponent. We cannot allow firefighters to resign themselves to the fact that wearing a uniform and gear of a firefighter raises our exposure 25% higher than the normal person to get cancer. Absolutely unacceptable.
I told my brother that, who had no interest in being a firefighter, that firefighters, their life expectancy is about 10 years shorter than the general population, primarily because of cancer. And I look back coming into the fire service, and somehow that was okay. I was okay with that, and that's not okay. And I think we've all recognized that. It's time we put our foot down.
As you all know, the IAFF had been in the lead on this issue they've been dealing with this issue outwardly for 15 or more years.
Like National Fallen Firefighters Chairman Chief Dennis Compton, many of those addressing the Fire Service Occupational Cancer Symposium referenced the past.
I'm going to give you a little bit of sciencey stuff, a little epidemiology 101, hopefully enough so you understand the studies that we talk about.
Including the research and studies that form the foundation for new and more detailed investigation.
And it's the job of all of us together on the study team to be able to figure out ways to help fund this and answer a number of questions as we move forward.
All of this work by multiple organizations leads to what is ultimately the key for change: prevention, reducing exposure for firefighters.
And the way we like to think about this as an industrial hygienist is this principle called the exposure pathway. And so it's really every step along the process that ultimately leads to the absorption of those chemicals. And the reason this is important is that we can intervene in any one of these steps and hopefully lessen or prevent your exposure.
We're going to talk a little bit about decon. We've talked about decon for a number of years without any data to tell us how effective it is. And a paper that's coming out in the very near future will give us that data for the very first time.
The symposium is not just a chance to listen to the experts,
but I want to highlight.
But it's also focused on workshops. This is where firefighters, safety officers, fire chiefs, and many others with fire service connections discuss the reality and challenges of keeping firefighters healthy.
2 sets of turnout gear, super important.
But then once we change over to firefighter exposure, it's an app that's right on your phone, and it becomes your career firefighter diary.
Do you have a program in your organization that deals specifically with cancer? Do you talk about cancer to the rookie firefighters?
At least 77 cancer survivors are here in Phoenix, and everyone seems to have more than one story about firefighters who have been lost to cancer.
And right here, I carry my list around with me.
And 2 of today's speakers shared very personal lists.
He'd been retired for 5 years when he passed away from colon cancer at the age of 52.
And this is Bob Boo Boo McCarthy. And literally, just a couple of weeks after that picture was taken, he didn't feel well, went to the doctor. 3 months later, Boo Boo wasn't with us.
He was 61 when he passed away. He'd been retired 7 years of liver cancer. It points out to me, one, the trend that we're seeing that's all too obvious to us now. There's really no debate about it anymore, to be very frank, of what is killing our firefighters.
For the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation, I'm Dave Statter.